Hello, everyone. Mark Helton here. It is 1 minute, actually 2 minutes after the hour, so sorry I'm a couple of minutes late here. Just want to make sure everybody can hear me loud and clear, so if you can, please just go ahead and say something in the chat here. Yes, awesome, good. Thanks, Ken. I appreciate that. Yeah, we had a good time the other night here in Las Vegas. I had a couple of friends come into town. Brian Anderson and Sid Michael came down, and we did it big. So I grew up here in Las Vegas. I was born and raised here, and I will have to say I don't get out that often. So when I do, I pay for it. So I'm not a party animal. So we went out and we had a lot of fun. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Hot Prospector. This is all about Hot Prospector. I don't have any slides prepared or anything like that. The goal here is to kind of give you a good walkthrough of everything from A to Z. Some of you may have Hot Prospector. Some of you may have not gotten Hot Prospector yet. This webinar is for everyone. And we're going to start trying to do some more of these webinars to go into more of the details and showing you how to do certain things inside of Hot Prospector, because it's a really powerful tool. It just, some of the things that are in there, you may not even realize what they're for. I also have, and I don't know if she's here on the webinar, but one of my amazing customers, I guess I don't know what else to call Becky, but Becky has been working feverishly on a new manual. So we have a manual that's going to be coming out here real soon. So you'll have the ability to go through the manual and get a little bit more familiar with some of the features that maybe you aren't able to understand by looking at the videos. So Becky's working on that. I don't know what the status is, but hopefully there, not too much more time left on that. But anyways, we're going to be doing some more of these webinars, talking about features, talking about new features, showing things off, and showing you how to get set up. So we're going to go ahead and dig right in. Now, if you have questions, do not be afraid to plop them here into the questions box. I'm going to try to answer as many questions as I can. That's what this whole webinar is going to be about. It's going to be a nice little walkthrough, as well as a little bit of Q&A. Okay, Keith, I apologize. The sneaky offline method. I copied that webinar, and when I copied it, I forgot to change the title. So I changed the title. It's supposed to be a Hot Prospector webinar. Okay. Will there be a replay? Yes, indeed, there will be a replay. I am recording, and as long as everything goes well with my Camtasia recording, I don't foresee that being an issue. But if somebody else here wants to record, feel free to record, and if there's an issue, I'll let you know. Anyways, so let's go ahead and get started. So where am I right now? I am on the dashboard of Hot Prospector. And on the dashboard, you have a little overview of all of the things that you're doing inside of your system at once. Okay, you can see some quick stats. You can see your callback schedules, your emails that you've sent. And by the way, Ron or anybody else saying, can I zoom in a little bit? I'm in full screen. If you want to zoom in, you're going to have to, go out. I could probably hit the Control Plus a couple of times. There you go. Is that better? That's about as much as I'm going to be able to go without completely. But you guys can go full screen too, if you're not already. So anyways, this is the dashboard. And on the dashboard, you have the little overview of everything that's inside of your system. Everything from, emails that you've sent to how many of your emails are viewed. If you want to see any of those things, you could just click on the viewed, and you'll see who viewed them, when they viewed them, and you can even pull up the user itself if you want by going in and clicking on the group. Okay, so that's the dash, or that's the email logs. In addition to the email logs, you also have your callback schedule. You have waiting for the dashboard to come back up here. Give me just 1 second. Whenever I do a go-to webinar, sometimes my internet slows down, so I apologize. But you've got your callback schedule. You've got stats that shows how many groups and contacts you have. You've got your cycles that you've been calling. A cycle, just to let you know, what that means is how many times you've gone through those leads. So in this particular case, this campaign, we've run 2 cycles on those numbers. In this campaign, we've run 3 cycles on those numbers. Right? So the more cycles means the more times that it's gone through that whole list. Okay? Let's see here. Active users. Okay, so active users, if you have calls being made at this point with your users, your actual team, they'll show up here. So you'll be able to see when they started calling, what login time, and that kind of thing. So if you're tracking your users, that gives you that ability. SMSs sent and received, your mass email stats, and then also your Power Dialer stats. So everything is here on the campaign itself. Also, something I can't see or can't show you here because I don't have one, but if you have a schedule pop up here that needs to be called, if you actually click on that link, it'll take you to that callback, so you don't have to go in and look it up in the Power Dialer. Okay. So, Charles, how does Hot Prospector gather personal emails? Hot Prospector doesn't gather emails at all. Hot Prospector, what you're looking at here is a completely different system to Hot Lead Finder. Hot Lead Finder, which is free, anybody can get it. Here it is. This is Hot Lead Finder. Hot Lead Finder searches through Manta, Yellow Pages, Facebook, and all that stuff. Okay, that gathers emails, but they're 2 different software. If you look here, this gives you the ability to click to buy Hot Prospector, but they're completely 2 different systems. So what I'm talking about right now, Charles, is Hot Prospector. Okay. Now, if you have support type questions, we'll answer those, but just please try to limit this webinar to or the questions in this webinar to how do you do this, how do you do that, okay? All right, let's see here. I did the entire campaign using Hotlead. Yeah, DJ, that's a question we'll have to address later. Okay, so the very first thing you do once you log in to Hot Prospector, when you very first purchase your account, you're going to need to come in here and update your profile, okay? Now, the profile is a few different tabs here. You'll see we've got the profile, SMTP, your custom themes, and then you also have domain management, okay? Inside of the profile itself, you'll just put in your first name, your last name, your email address. This is your login email address, okay? This is the email that you can – now, if you change this, your login email will change, okay? The password, you can change your password here. Your from email, your from name, your account ID and auth token, this comes from Twilio, okay? So whatever your auth token and your account ID is, you'll put those in here. Your account phone number, which as you can see I have no dashes and no spaces, and I have the country code here. This is the account number that I took from my Twilio account, okay? Again, any phone number in your Twilio account should work, but just try to get the most not the most recent, but the main one when you purchase your account. Okay. Over here, you've got your time zone. You can set your time zone for what country you're in, what time zone specific you're in, and then you also have the ability to set your read status or read status notifications for email. So if you want to receive an email every time somebody opens an email, you can do that. If you want to receive an SMS, or if you want both, you can do that as well. Okay, this is really cool because when you're sending out emails, you can get an email and says, "Hey, John just opened your email," and then you know the best time to call is when somebody opens up an email, right? Here is your signature, and as you can see, it takes HTML. So if you want to add in, like here, this would show my name as bold, but you can put whatever signature that you want in your email signatures here, and there's a token that you'll add into your emails where this signature will be added. Now we will go ahead and bring that up here in just a second inside of the Power Dialer. Okay. The inbound call settings. Now this is something that we've been working on changing, but enhancing the inbound settings, which I'll show you guys here in just a second what's getting ready to come out, but what's available and what's getting ready to come out. Inbound settings, this is basically where you would like all of your calls that come through to be forwarded to. So, for example, in this case, I have all my calls forwarded to my cell phone. I can have it set up to ring the web browser only, or ring the web browser and then forward to number, or then ring the web browser and forward number simultaneously. Okay. I see a lot of questions coming in, and guys, I want to answer as many questions as you can, but you got to keep them related to what we're talking about at this moment. Please try not to jump all around. I know your mind is probably, just churning. You've got all kinds of questions, but I've got a lot of people on this webinar, and there's no way that I'm going to be able to answer, 300 questions in 3 different directions. Okay, so let's try to keep it related to what we're talking about at this point, and then as we go along, I'm sure your question will be answered because I'm going to take some time and go through everything, okay? Okay, so this is the profile, very easy. Next, you're going to go into the SMTP details. Now, in your SMTP details, you have the ability to add your server name, your server port, which we only accept 465 and 25. If you are using any standard SMTP provider or any host, those are the 2 standard ports, 25 and 465. If your host says that they don't accept or that they don't use any one of those, I would check again, because I've never had an issue where anybody isn't able to use their own port. Now, as you can see, I'm using Amazon AWS. It's very easy, and it's actually free to set up. They only charge they give you 200 emails per day in Amazon SES, but then you can get upgraded to, I'm on 10,000 emails per day, and it's not very difficult. I think you just have to get verified with them in order to do that. Okay, so Amazon SES is a good solution. It works great with our system. 465 and 25. Oh, by the way, we do not support, going forward as of now, we do not support free domains or free email providers like Hotmail, Gmail, Yahoo, all of those free email providers. If you're using that as your email, don't. Seriously, don't. You're making your business look very tiny. And anybody gets an email from somebody, John15606rocks at yahoo.com. I mean, it just doesn't look professional, okay? I know everybody here wants to keep things as simple as possible, but expand your horizons and set up an @ domain. You could do it through Amazon. You can set up through HostGator or any of the hosting providers, or you could do Google Apps, and I'll just show you that really quick here. Google Apps, it's google.com/apps. You can go in here and sign up. Just get your own domain for your email for your domain, and it's free. And the great thing about this is it releases the limits that Gmail gives you on a free email. The SMTP server settings are all the same, but you're not going to be stuck with, I think Gmail's like 200 emails or something like that per day is all you can send. So anyways, I've said enough hopefully about the email to where you have a few options. You have Amazon SES, you have Google Apps, or you can just go to your host. But don't use Hotmail, Gmail, any of those free email providers, okay? It doesn't look professional, and like I said, we're no longer going to be supporting them. If you have issues connecting, you're on your own a little bit. I provided a video there, but it really seriously doesn't make sense for you to use Gmail. All right. So what you want to do is you want to fill out all your settings. You got your server name, your port, your prefix, connection prefix, and all of these will be inside of your host. They'll provide whatever these settings are supposed to be for them, okay? Your username, your password, your from name, and your from email, okay? And then after you're done, now you can see here I'm actually sending from a Gmail address through Amazon SES, only because I use this account for testing. It's not something that I actually use. But you could have your own from email address and that sort of thing. So once you fill this out, just click Test Server just to make sure that your settings are good, and you'll see my settings are successful. And if you go over to your email box, you'll notice you've received a configuration test. Just, the email was sent. And then all you have to do is click Update Server. Okay, just click Update Server. When you click Update, it will actually save whatever settings that you've changed. Okay, that is the SMTP details. Now, there are two areas inside of Hot Prospector where you're going to add SMTP details. You're going to be able to add them here, which is used in the Power Dialer, and then in the Mass Emailer for when you're sending out bulk email. We'll go into the Mass Emailer in a second, but I just want to make sure everybody understands that. Custom themes. Now here you have the ability to customize your entire theme. As you can see here, I've got a blank logo here. I'm doing that for, just for some branding purposes. But you can add whatever theme you want. You can change your logo, color schemes, all that stuff. And you can even change the brand name. And the brand name is actually going to show up here on your up here in your tab. And then also inside of your branded website, which I'm going to show you here in a second, the branded website, okay? So it's very easy, point and click, fill out the, click on a color, change the scheme, and then when you change it, click Update, and you'll see all of the changes that you made, okay? Next is domain management. Now, domain management is an area where you can actually set whatever you want your domain to be. Now, this is for white labeling the system, so that way you can sell Hot Prospector seats as your own company. Okay, so for example, I'll show you. Here is one of our white label accounts. This is called Merchant Prospector, merchantprospector.com. So when somebody logs in at merchantprospector.com, they see a completely different brand. They see this logo, they see Merchant Prospector Dialer, all of that stuff, right? Now, you have this ability inside of your account to brand your own system, so you can actually sell seats to your customers, and you can charge whatever you want for each of these individual seats. This particular area right here is all branded based off of whatever you put in under the custom themes. Okay, you're set when you set your domain. You'll put in whatever domain you want to put in here. So let's say, in this case, it's merchantprospector.com. Okay, that domain will be set. Now, there's two things that you need to know. This is the caveat to this whole thing. Everybody gets it. However, the only way that we will turn on your branding or the branded site, which this is the branded site. Okay, you can have it for free at whatever your subdomain is, .hotprospector.com. But if you want your own site like this, you either have to buy the 10-seat license, which is $99 a month, which gives you 10 seats, because then you can resell them, or you need to pay the the annual domain setup fee, which is $200. Okay, but it doesn't make any sense for you to have the branded site unless you're going to sell it. Right, so I'm asking you to buy the 10 seats, so you have 10 seats to sell. Doesn't make sense to brand something that you cannot sell, right? So that's just my little thing that we have that we've added in here. This is all brand new, and you'll have access to this inside your system. All you have to do is get the 10 seat, and I'll give you guys a way to purchase those here in just a second. We're also going to be adding that inside the team management area to where you'll be able to go in and buy teams in bulk. So if you go in here to the team area and you click add team member, we're going to have a bulk price. So don't worry about purchasing them individually here. This price that you see if you buy them individually is $98 a month for one seat. I'm going to put a bulk discount up there of $97 for 10 seats here very, very soon. So just, it should be up in the next day or so, okay? All right, so let's go back over to the profile. So we've covered SMTP, custom themes, the domain management, all of these different things here inside of the profile, okay? If you need help with any of the things that you see, over here inside the training area, we have some videos, and we're updating these all the time. Plus, like I said, we're going to have a manual here very soon, so it'll help you with understanding how everything works if you're still struggling with some of the things that I'm covering today, okay? The web phone. Let's talk about the web phone. Now, the web phone is something that, like I said, we're in the process of actually changing So right now, as you see, when you click on the web phone, it doesn't actually do anything, and that's because we're going to be setting up. It's going to be coming out here very soon. Actually, let me see if I can demo for you the developer version of Hot Prospector. Now this is what is coming on the web phone, and I'm only reason why I'm showing you this now is because I know that it's going to be coming out very soon. But you can see we've changed this top menu up here just a little bit. When you click hover over settings, you'll see all the same things that you just saw before, except for it's just in a little bit nicer and neater formula or format. But here you have browser, web phone, and you have inbound call. So if you click on inbound call, you'll see it takes you to a page to where you can actually start receiving inbound calls. So if you sell this to your customer, or even if you use it for yourself, anybody who's calling in, you'll see their name, all their information that you have on them inside your contacts pop up whenever they call based on their caller ID. All right? So this is where you will go to receive all of your inbound calls on your computer. Okay? You can still forward calls and that sort of thing, and we'll go into the inbound features here in just a second. But this new inbound call browser is going to be really awesome. The only thing that we have left to add, and the reason why we haven't updated it yet, is we're adding the call statuses on the right, so you'll be able to mark the status of what happens on that inbound call. Okay, so as soon as that's finished, which it's pretty close to being done, then you'll be able to see all of those. You'll be able to have access to this. This is not ready. It will be ready very, very soon. Okay. Okay, so you have the help desk here inside of your system. When you log in and you click on help desk, here you have the ability to add a ticket, submit a ticket. We like to have you use or put any tickets for Hot Prospector here because this is where we manage them. Now, the great thing about this is that this is completely white labeled and branded support. So if your customer has a issue, they're not going to see Hot Prospector. They'll be able to come in here and submit a ticket, and we'll handle the support. So that means you don't have to handle your own support. We'll handle all of that here. And opening up a ticket is very simple. They just open up a ticket. They'll see their email address, which is the email that's in their profile. They'll be able to put in their subject, decide if it's high priority, normal, low, very low. Is it a bug, feature request, whatever. And then here they can enter in whatever the ticket is, if they have a file they want to upload, and then click submit. Okay? So that is the help desk. All right, so that is everything here on this top row. All right, now I want to show you how to import contacts, because once you get into the system, the very first thing you want to do after you've added in your SMTP details and your Twilio account is you want to start adding contacts. Okay? So what you want to do is you want to come into the Contacts tab, and the very first thing you want to do is add groups. Now, let's talk about how to use groups. Personally, in this particular account, I don't have them set up the way that they should be set up. Okay? What you want to do is you want to set up your groups in a smart way. You're going to have some groups that you're going to be doing prospecting for, but you're also going to want to set up maybe a customer group. So that way you can move your customers from a one group to another group. So for example, this contact here, if I go in and click edit, I can go ahead and change the group of where I want to actually move him to. Okay? So if I've turned him into a customer, I can do that. Okay? Now, it makes a lot of sense to have those types of things set up, but you don't have to. Okay? So in this particular case, the very first thing that you want to do is you want to come in here and click Add a New Group and name it whatever you want. So we'll just call this HP Test Group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. Okay? Now, underneath that, you'll see I have these users in my account. Now, once you add users to your account, if you buy a bulk seat, 10 different seats, you can have it set up to where, as an admin, whenever you add when you add a group, you can have that group visible or invisible to certain users. So if I want Russell to have access to this, then all I have to do is select his name and click Add Group, and then when I create this group, Russell will have access to it, but nobody else will have access to it. Okay, so in this particular case, I'm just going to leave it blank, click Add Group, and now my group is added. Okay, now the next thing after I've added the group is I want to import my contacts. Okay, importing contacts is very simple. All you have to do is click Import Contacts, select the group, and you'll see here's the last group that I just added. Select your lead source, and this just gives you the ability to track where your leads are coming from. We've got a lot of updates coming down the road here very shortly to make Hot Prospector more of a CRM. So you'll have the ability to track like what leads are working best and that sort of thing. So you can actually either use one of our standard ones that we have here, like Google AdWords, organic, all that, or you can add your own custom lead source by just clicking Add, and then here you'll have the ability to just type in what it is and click Add, and then it'll show up here in your dropdown. Okay, so for this particular case, we'll just select I don't know, email marketing. Okay, select your country code, prevent your duplicates. Now, preventing duplicates, basically what it does is it just selects that group where either if you want to select the okay, let me back up just a little bit. If you have a file that has duplicates inside the file and you haven't checked that, then you'd want to tick this box. If you have a file and you want to make sure that you're not uploading any contacts that are already inside your contact manager, then you would click All Contacts. If you just want to prevent duplicates for that group, then you would select Group. Okay. So for this particular example, I'll just keep it on File. Choose my file. Here, let me just grab a file here. Okay, here's a file. Okay, so you select your file and then click Upload, and it will take you to a screen here where you have the ability to map your fields. So this top row up here is where you map your fields. So you could type, or you could select company. This one here is a first name. That's last name, email, phone. Any other fields that you want. Okay. Now you can see here there's a lot of other fields in this particular file. Okay, so if you wanted to add all of these fields, you can do that. Before you import your group, or before you import your contacts, you would want to go into that group itself, and I'll just show you here really fast how that works. You would go into your group itself, and you would click on the wrench, and here you can add any custom fields that you want to add. So if you had 30 or 40 different fields on that CSV that you wanted to make sure are all mapped when you upload, then you would just come in here and add all of those fields. There's no limit to the amount of fields that you can add in to your group. So it makes it really nice that way. Okay. So for that particular example, that was it. I mean, basically, you click on Import, select your group, select your lead source. I'll do this one more time. Select your file. Click Upload. And then come in here and map out each individual field. Once you've done mapping all of the fields that you want, then just click Update, and then it'll automatically upload those contacts into your system. Okay? All right. So that is uploading contacts. There's really only a few things that you really need to do inside of this tab. You've got, adding groups. You have importing contacts. You can see email notifications in here, which that's going to be moved eventually. It doesn't really belong in here. And then you also have the ability to export contacts. By the way, you can also add an individual contact here just by adding a new contact. Okay, so let's talk about how to export contacts. This is something that we just recently changed, so it's been improved, it's been enhanced. But you click on Export Contacts, you select your group, you click Export, and then it's going to take you to the actual group down here. You'll be able to preview that particular group, and then you just click this button here where it says Click to Download Contacts List, and there you have it. Your whole list of contacts has been put right here inside of CSV, so then you'll have them there. Okay. You can, if you want to select a different group after you've selected that group, just go ahead and select it. Click on the Export Contacts, and go ahead and click on export. Now you can also download all of your contacts as well. Just click all, export, and click download. And as you can see, it just downloaded all my contacts. So you can select your contacts by group, or you can select them by all and export them there. So this is the contacts field. Okay. Do we have any questions on the contacts area? Yeah, John, this is being recorded. Can you copy a group profile? Tim, that's a good question. We do actually have that feature in some areas, but we don't actually have copy the group profile. That's a good idea, and I'll put that on the to-do list. Basically, what he's asking is inside of the groups. Let's say, for example, if you set up a group and you have created a bunch of different fields here, rather than having to come back and recreate those every single time, you could load a group and just copy it. So yeah, that's a good idea, and I'll put that on the list to do. Let's see. Is the group completely removed from the system? No. Gio, this does not remove the group when you download them. All you're doing is just downloading your contacts. Now, if you want to remove a group, well, that's easy. If you want to remove a group of contacts, just go into your groups, and let me just select the group here that I don't really care about. Okay, so this test group that I just created, I click on this delete button, and here you get an option. You can either delete just the group, or you can delete the group and the contacts. So you just click submit, and now that particular group and all of the contacts associated with it will be gone. So that's how you remove it. Okay? All right, so that's the contacts. Now let's talk about the power dialer first, okay? Because all of the other features really work with the power dialer. So once you've added your let me show you something really cool here. A lot of people have been asking for that we just added. Michael, the stuff in the developer version is just added as soon as it's finished. So we do our best to try to do that. As soon as all the bugs have been worked out, okay? But here's something we just released today that I think a lot of people will like. Some people are saying, sometimes they don't want to go into the power dialer in order to contact one of their leads, right? And you see you have these different tabs here. You've got service type, you've got voice broadcast, SMS, and email, okay? So let's say you're inside your contacts and you just want to call Mark very quickly. Well, that's okay. Before you couldn't do that, but now all you have to do is click on that, and then you'll have the system, it'll open up and it'll say, do you want to call? Click call, and it's actually calling right now. You guys can't hear it, but it's actually ringing in my browser, okay? So once the call is actually activated, you'll be able to talk directly to that contact, okay? So that's something that we recently just added. We also have the ability for you to go in here and send out an individual voice broadcast. This feature is actually being enhanced at this moment, but very soon you'll be able to do both a unattended and an attended voice broadcast to a customer, which basically means you can either just send them a voice message that they can interact with without you being on the phone, or you could call them and then send out the voice broadcast once you have them on the phone, okay? SMS, you can send out a text message, just select the template, or just type in whatever you want and hit send. And then the same thing for the email. You can select an email template and then hit send. All right. This is outside of the power dialer. Okay. This is just dialing here inside your contacts. Again, I personally wouldn't use this as much, but some people said they wanted to be able to come into a group and sort and just pick the contact that they want to dial. So now you can actually do that. Okay. It hopefully will actually make things a little bit easier for you if that's the type of dialing that you want to do. Okay? Let me see if I can answer a couple questions here. Someone said, is that VoIP or landline? We're using Twilio. We're using Twilio. So all of the calls are going over the internet, and calls are going through your browser and on your headset for your computer. So you don't need to have a landline. You can actually use it right through your computer. How much do you pay per minute? Elaine, that's a good question. Twilio charges 2 cents per minute for outbound calls, and I think 1 cent per minute for inbound calls. And then and then you would also have to have your actual phone number that you're dialing from, which is $1 per month. Let's see here. Bob, what does one seat team member do and not do? Bob, I don't actually understand that question. I think if you're asking what features do they have access to, then you can set those features up here inside of the team tab, which we'll cover that in just a second. Okay, let me go into the Power Dialer now, so we can actually talk about how the Power Dialer works. So once you've added your contacts, all right, you've added your Twilio account, you've added your emails, or not your emails, but your SMTP settings. So you're set up. You're ready to go, right? So next thing you do is you add your contacts. You got your contacts in there. Now, when you first log in, once you've done all those other things, you click on Power Dialer, you're not going to see any campaigns. It will literally be blank. You won't see what I have here. So how do you get what I have here? Well, it's easy. Click on Add Campaign and fill out this form, okay? So you can name your campaign whatever you want. Call it Test Campaign. You can select whatever group that you want here, okay? You can import your own contacts. You can export, whatever you want to do. So we're going to go ahead and just select a group here, contacts. Let's do this one, okay? Select a script. Now the scripts and templates for scripts are up here in the top area. So you've got voicemail templates, script templates, SMS templates, and email templates. You can go in there and write up your own SMS templates, your own email templates, your own script templates, and upload voicemail templates, and you can actually set it to where they're available only for certain campaigns. Okay? What's the benefit of that? Well, if you're making calls from the Power Dialer, you want to have a specific script that shows up inside the system. You'll love that. Okay? So that's the script. The calendar. Okay, and we didn't really talk about this yet, but inside the appointments management system here, you can set up your own calendars, and you can have individual calendars for each campaign if you want. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and select default calendar, voice broadcast. In this particular campaign, I'm not going to use it, but you can have it set up to where when you're on the phone with a customer, if you want to send a message to them, a voice broadcast message to them, you could do that. So you can select a campaign that you already have set up, and let's say you're on the phone with a customer and you want to send them a message where they can press 1, to be transferred to somebody else. You could do that. Okay. Let's see here. After you've selected that, you can also select a custom email template that you want to send out, which I'm not going to do in this particular case. You also can select your caller ID number. So any phone numbers that you want to select, whatever phone numbers you have access to inside your Twilio account, you'll be able to actually select from here. Okay, so you select your caller ID number. Here you have the ability to add custom fields. So if you want to add more custom fields that you want to collect data from when you're on the phone versus the ones that we give you, all you have to do is just click, whatever you want to call it, and then click Add Field. Or actually, you would number the field. You would select the number of fields you want to add first, and then you would name them. So Test 1 or Test 2. Test 3, Test 4, right? You also have the ability to select whether you want your calls to be recorded or not. So we'll just select yes. Here you have SMS reminders and email reminders. Now, when you put in a template for the SMS reminder and the email reminder, what that does is allows you to have a template for your reminders that you send to your customers to let them know that you have a phone appointment coming up with them. Okay, so I'll just put something in here, testing the SMS reminder, and then here we'll put testing the email reminder. Okay. Now you can also put in your own phone number that you want your reminder sent to. So you probably put your cell phone number in there. You can also do an email that you want your own personal reminders sent to. And your subject line. There. All right. Now, once you've added all of the fields in that we just did, the last thing is you can select what users you want to have access to these campaigns. So only the people that you select will have access to this campaign. Anybody else won't be able to see it. Okay, that's very powerful because when you start offering this to your customers, you don't want them to see each other's campaigns. You don't want them to see each other's groups and contacts and all that stuff. Okay, so we've got it set up to where everything's separated. Okay, you also have the ability to, if you just want to click on this load setting, here you can load a previously created campaign, so you don't have to keep on adding the same fields in if you want to use a campaign that you've already used before. Okay, so you can just copy another campaign. All right, so we'll just go ahead and click Add Campaign, and then it will just go ahead and add the campaign. Okay, so our campaign has been completed, and you'll see here, if I just go to page 2 of my campaigns, here it is, the test campaign that we just created with our group. You can see we have 413 contacts. So once your campaign has been created, there are a few things that you can do inside of the Power Dialer. Okay, you don't just dial from the Power Dialer. You can also do a mass email from the Power Dialer. Okay, so here I'll just go ahead and select a template, and I will click on, let's see, we'll do this first email, website grader, no contact. Okay, so all you have to do is select your template that you want, and then in this case, I'm also going to send out a website grader report. The website grader report, and I'll show you what those look like in just a second, but what this email is going to do is it's going to bulk email those 413 contacts, and it's going to attach a website grade report as well. Okay, so we'll just click Update. And I'm actually going to go into the particular campaign that we already have this set up for, because I don't want to do it again with that list, because we're actually marketing to this auto repair list right now. So let me select that one more time, and we'll click Update. Okay, so now my campaign is ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and send it. By clicking on the Send button here. Now, it opens up a new tab. So you can see here, I'm in 2 different tabs now. So it opened up a new tab, and you can see here, total number of emails sent today, 413, meaning this is how many we're getting ready to send. And then also website grade report. So we'll just go ahead and click Send Email, and you'll see, here it goes, it'll start sending out emails. Now, if there's no website address present, you will see that will fail. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this campaign, because I thought I had website addresses in there, but I don't. Okay, but that is it. Okay, so it's very, very easy to do, and you can see the emails just start going out one after another after another. Okay, you don't have to send out a website grade report. You can just send out an email blast. If you have a specific email that you want to send out, you have a template in there. It's very, very easy. Okay. Can you set the delivery rate of the emails? No, you can't set the delivery rate of the emails, because we send at a specific rate to make sure we stay under the radar. We don't want you sending too fast. If you send too fast, then you're going to have issues with your SMTP provider, which we've been editing those things a lot over the past few weeks here to try to make sure that we can figure out those settings. Okay, so once you've sent out your mass email, then you may want to go in and start calling on these customers. Okay, simple type of sales funnel, right? Send out an email and then call them back and say, hey, did you get that email? Okay, so in order to do that, all you have to do once you've created your campaign is click on this Start button. Okay, so I'm going to click Start. And you can see all of the contact information that I have on that customer will be right here inside of the system. Okay, I have access to notes, so I can see anything that I've sent them as far as emails. It's actually time stamped and dated. I can also see any notes that I've added. Here you can see where we've added the videos, because we're doing a video a video prospector campaign as well. So you can see where those emails have been, or those videos have been loaded. And you can see any other contact information. Now, you remember I added those 3 different fields. We've got Test 2, Test 3, Test 4. Well, you can add whatever campaigns you want, and you can just enter in that information here into the system, and it'll be saved. Okay, so that's the contact area. Over here on the right-hand side, you have your status updates. Now, what is a status update? A status update is something that allows you to kind of track what's happening with your calls. Okay, so let's say I called this person, and they, were interested, but they wanted me to call them back. All right, so if I select call back, I can schedule my time, and then I can also schedule. Remember those SMS reminders we talked about before? Okay, you can come in here and schedule alerts for both yourself and the contact to receive a reminder for that callback whenever you want that reminder to be sent. And then here, you can select your SMS template or your email template. Okay? So what happens is when you mark this as a contact or a callback, then it'll be added into your callback schedule, and it will be marked here up on the top that you had a contact, and you'll also be able to see it inside of reports, which we'll cover here in a second, that shows that this status has been updated as a callback. These are really good for, like I said, reporting to make sure that your team, if you have a team, is dialing and doing what they're supposed to be doing. If you're using this for yourself, you can use it to track your own results. Are you getting too many answering machines or too many people saying they're not interested? That sort of thing. You have the ability to update those statuses to keep your leads, to get a good idea of what's going on with your leads. Okay. If you're going through the power dialer and you're calling people and you don't want to call this contact, if you click skip contact, that'll skip the contact, and you can skip through the leads that you don't want to call. In order to start the dialing, you would click on this call start button. Okay, call start will literally start dialing these leads through the browser. Okay, so I'm going to go and hang up because I don't want to call during the webinar, but that is what would happen. I hit the green guy here, it turned red, and it started dialing this number here that we have on the phone. Okay, up here on the top, you have some features available to you. You have the pause dialing, which basically the auto dialer will automatically dial the next number once you disposition the status. So let's say that I selected, let's see, we'll just select no answer in this case. Okay, what will happen is it loads up the next lead, and you can see it's automatically dialing. Well, if you don't want to dial that number and you want to pause it, just click on that button, and it'll pause the dialing. Okay. Here, you have the ability to leave an automated voicemail. So let's say you're calling this business, 1320 Motors, and the business doesn't answer the phone. Okay, they don't answer the phone. You get a voicemail. Rather than leaving the same voicemail over and over and over again, you can just select on one of your templates, and just click on leave voicemail, and then that will automatically be left on their answer machine, and your call will move on to the next call, okay, which I'm not actually on the phone, so it won't work. But it would leave that voicemail, and then it will move to the next lead, so that way you don't have to sit there and leave the same messages over and over again. And you can have multiple templates, so if you want to leave different types of voicemails, you can do that as well. Here is the voice broadcaster, which we don't have the voice broadcast message loaded for this campaign, but basically what this is it gives you the ability, if you're on the phone with a customer, maybe you have somebody doing some prospecting for you, and you want them to call up and say a specific script, well, you can load up a voice broadcast campaign in there, and they can call up and they can say, yes, I have this important message for you, I'd like to play, and they can just ask for permission to play that message, and once they get permission, they click this button, and it'll automatically deliver that voice broadcast message. So the person who you're on the phone with will hear the message, but the person who's making the call will go on to the next call, and they don't have to sit there and do that. Okay. You also have call transfer. So if you want your agent to transfer leads to you or something like that, they could actually do that here. They just type in your phone number and then transfer the call over, and that will transfer that call directly to you. So that way, they can get off the call and make other calls. Okay. So that's basically it here inside of the statuses and these features up here at the top. Now, one thing I did kind of skip over is the book appointment. If you have a calendar attached to your campaign, then you'll have the ability to schedule an appointment automatically. That will be added to your calendar. Okay, So this is it's a very powerful feature if you're if you have appointment setters that are setting appointments for you, or even if you're setting your own appointments so you don't forget about your appointments. You can book appointments and have those added to your calendar. Across the top here, we have some additional features. You have the ability to send out an SMS template just by clicking and sending it. You also have the ability to do an email the same way. Select one of your email templates and click send. You also have, again, the scripts that we talked about. So here's your call script. You have notes of anything that was discussed before. You have weather if you have the address in there, which you have to have the city and state. Let me just change that. I don't know. Let's see, like Aurora City. Eight zero zero 80010. I'm just getting a zip code here real quick so you can see how this works. All right. So once you have that in there, you can click on the weather and see what the weather is. You can also see on a Google map where your particular person is you're talking to on the phone. If you want to drop this little guy in here, you can see, wow, there is nothing in Aurora. It's flat. But there you go. So you have that available here as well. Okay. You can see how long you're on the phone. You can see your call duration, total calls, contacts, all that right there. Okay. Very, very easy to use. All you have to really worry about is this green guy here. You click start, and then that's that. Okay. Yeah, someone asked about the website report. Let's look at the website report. So the reason why our websites failed is looks like we mapped those features incorrectly, put the websites in the wrong area. So let me go ahead and change that, and we'll go ahead and click on the website grade report. So once you have the website address in here and an email, all you have to do is click on this little guy right here, and it says website grader. And what will happen is it's going to pull up this little message that says, congratulations, report is on its way. Please stay with us. Okay, so what it's doing right now is it's generating this website grader report for you. Now, this is a really powerful tool if you're making phone calls to schedule an appointment. Let me give you an idea of the way we would use it. I would call up to this 1320 Motors, and I would say, hey, this is Mark. I'm not sure if you received that email that I just sent you with the video, but for whatever reason, doesn't look like you had a chance to read it yet. So I actually just wanted to show you this report that we just generated for you. Let me double check I have the right email, and then get the email address and say, okay, I'm sending that over to you again right now. While that's coming over, let's go ahead and chat. That kind of thing. So you've generated this report, and here's the report and the email. It'll be sent over to them just like this, okay? Where this token is here, it says website report 1320. We'll actually add in a link to this website report here. So if I click on that, this is the way the website report will look. You get a website grade. You get, it shows like how many pages they have indexed, if they have a Twitter profile or a Facebook fan page. It shows the meta description of their page title and their tags and all that good stuff. It talks about the keywords that are inside the site. It shows images, the domain info, how much longer until their domain expires, if they have a Moz rank. Backlinks, it shows how many backlinks they have. I mean, this is a perfect example of a site that is horrible, right? This 1320 Motors, this is his site, right? It's one page, and it really stinks. So this would be a great opportunity. You send this guy a report. Oh, it's a Yellow Pages site. That explains it, right? So this particular site, it really needs some help. This guy could really use some help. But you send over this little website grade report, talk to him about it, and that's it. It's a very, very powerful tool. So yeah, you've got your email here ready to send. If I click send on this, then he'll get this email with this report. Okay, Elaine, you're right. It is a really powerful feature. Dave, where does the website report data come from? We are actually generating a lot of that data ourselves. Plus, we have plugged into a couple of APIs, Dave. Now, there's you can probably do some research on it. My developers have actually done that themselves. I'm not exactly sure which where we're getting all of our data, but we get them from multiple sites. That's why it takes a little bit of time to generate. But you don't have to pay for those. Those are all done. We're paying for it. We're paying for the backlink search. We're paying for all of those things. All you have to do is just enter in the information and click on this little button. It's a very easy way to get your foot in the door with a customer. Very easy way, just using that website grade report. Here you have your callback schedule. If you click on this, it'll show any calls that you have scheduled. This here will allow you to add an individual contact to this particular group. And this tab here will show you hot prospects. Anybody that's marked as a hot prospect, which that is one of the call statuses, will show up here. And the reason why I added this is because I personally do my calling this way. I sometimes want to mark a customer as a hot prospect so I don't have to go searching through and trying to remember what their name was. I'll just mark them as a hot prospect, and then so for example here, I'll just hit hot prospect. So later on, if I want to pull this guy up, I just click on hot prospect, and here he is. All I got to do is just click on the button here, and it'll pull him up, and there you go. Okay, so that's the reason why I like the hot prospect feature. It gives you an ability to just have a list of people that you want to have available to call anytime you want. Okay. Bill, can we brand the website grader? Well, we actually have the website grader white labeled, so I'm pretty sure we could probably add a logo here somewhere. That's definitely doable. Let me talk to my team about that. That's a good idea. Maybe we can put your logo somewhere up here, but we make it white label, so you don't have any type of branding on it. But if you want, that's not a bad idea. We could probably push this down a little bit and maybe add a logo up at the top or something like that. All right. So again, it's a very, very cool tool, and it will help you get your foot in the door. Somebody asked if it shows if it's a mobile site or not. It doesn't. That is not something that we've added. But we have no problem adding additional features to the website grading tool. I mean, we're very open to adding features down the road. Okay. All right. So that is everything inside of the Power Dialer. Do we have any questions about the actual Power Dialer itself? Can we grade social? Yeah, John, we look automatically to see if they have a Facebook page and a Twitter page. So that's part of the scoring. If they have one, then then it's inside the report. Sinji, when I send a mass email, website reports are made for each business automatically. Yeah, they're not actually created when they're sent out. What we do because if we just blasted them out and made them which we actually used to do that in the beginning, it was killing our server. What we do now is we send out an email that includes a link, and then when they click on that link, it generates the report at that moment. So the report is generated when the customer clicks the link. Okay? But yeah, it'll send them all out automatically. So if you send out 100 of them, they'll get the link. Usually what we do is we say, after clicking the link, please wait a moment for your report to be generated, something like that. Okay, but yeah, that's definitely a very powerful feature there for Sinji. To make leaving voicemail more personal, can you say hi, Barb, and then hit the voicemail? Yeah, why not? Why not, Charles? I mean, it's going to pick up for wherever you leave off. So you wait for the person's voicemail to start. And that's a good question, Charles. So yeah, you can say hi, Barb, and then hit your voicemail, and then it'll say and then it'll deliver whatever your voicemail is. Good idea, Charles. I like that. B, how well does this dialer really work? Is it clear? Are there time delays, etc.? B, good question. The dialer works great. I use it all the time. Matter of fact, we have our own appointment setters working on it. Never have any problems with call clarity. There are a couple things that you want to do. Now, this is using Twilio. Okay, I know back a long time ago when they first got started, just like any other any other VoIP carrier, they have their issues, but they've worked out a lot of those bugs. So basically, you'll want to make sure you have, number one, you're dialing from a Chrome browser, because Chrome uses WebRTC. WebRTC is it's a much much more high tech. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a really good platform for dialing. Maybe somebody here is more technical than me, but I just know that the speed and the quality is better with WebRTC, and Google Chrome uses WebRTC. The second thing is that you want to use a good quality USB headset. Okay, you don't want one of those headsets that has the mic plug and the headset plug, right? The old school analog headset. You want a headset that's a USB plug that plugs into your computer. I'm actually on a wireless headset, and it's USB. It's actually the headset that I use. It's pretty expensive. It's a Sennheiser. It's a couple $100, but it's worth every penny. I can walk 500 feet or more away from my computer and still stay on the phone. So, but you don't need something like that. You could use whatever headset you want. Logitech makes a great USB headset for like $20. Let's see here. Jerome, just inbound numbers. Do we take calls back from? Don't understand that question, Jerome. If you could please rephrase that for me. Bill Shore, can we set default scripts for each section so we don't need to choose each time? Yeah, you do have the set default script. The reason, and that would actually be the one that shows up at the top, but the reason why we allow you to select or have multiple scripts added is for my case example, I want to have the ability to select rebuttals or select different scripts that I have for different things while I'm on that call. So you can select which scripts. Let me scroll up here and show you here. If we click on select template, you could actually go into one of these scripts, and when you're creating the script, select exactly which campaigns that you want these scripts to be added to. Actually, it looks like they removed that. I'll have to add that back. But basically what will happen is and what's normally supposed to be here is test. See if they have it on a different tab. No, they don't. They must have just removed it by mistake. But we have set it up to where your scripts will only show up in what campaigns you want them to show up in. So, yeah, you can set that up as a default. That's a good question, Bill. Let's see here. Next question. Does the video link have to be from Video Prospector, or can we post another and use? You can upload whatever details that you have on a CSV. So you could use a video link from whatever you want. It's not a problem. I mean, you could use video. You could add any contact information that you want, any data that you want into your CSV, Glenn. So yeah, you don't worry about that. Any video links that you want. Let's see. Is it hard to add mobile grader? I don't know. I have to talk to my developers. Let's see. Tim, can we add different report links? I don't understand that question, Tim. Let's see here. Besides transferring three-way calls, can it do three-way calls? Yeah, that's actually what it does, Mike. When you're doing a call transfer, it is a three-way call. So yes, you have the ability to stay on that call. CW, how many emails can I send out per day? Which host do you suggest? CW, that is actually a good question, and it really depends on the host that you're using. Like I said earlier on in the call, and maybe you missed it, I use Amazon SES, and I get 10,000 emails a day. That's way more than enough emails for you. You shouldn't be sending that many emails out per day anyways. I wouldn't send more than 1,000 emails a day, because the way we prospect with Hot Prospector is we grab a list of 250 to 500 to 1,000 contacts, and we contact them over and over and over again. So you don't want to send out too many emails every day. You only want to be able to email the people that you're going to be able to call back. Okay, so some of these questions are leading into some of the other features here that I'm going to cover. So let's go ahead and go back into the campaign list here. There's a couple things I want to show before we go. Now, you saw those call statuses that we had on the right-hand side. If you go here into the for the actual campaign, let me show you that one more time because I did it kind of fast. If you go into your campaign and you click on this little plus icon here, you can actually customize your call statuses. So you can add more than the ones that you actually see here. So we've got no sale, not interested, do not call, answer machine, all of that. But you can add a different call status if you want. So maybe you want to add in, some specific, I don't know, call status. Let's say you wanted one for Spanish speaking. Okay? And then here, after you've added in whatever the name is, you could set whether you want this status to be a recall status or no recall status. What that means is if you select no, then it won't recycle on the next cycle. So if you mark it as a Spanish-speaking customer and you don't want to talk to those prospects because you don't speak Spanish, then you could select no. And then if you mark it as a Spanish speaker, then the next time that lead won't come up in the next cycle. Okay. Now, also, you have email templates and SMS templates that you can set to be automatically sent when you select a status. So if you have an email on a contact and you want an email to go out automatically whenever you mark a customer for, I don't know, let's say no sale, right? If you have a no sale email that you want to go out automatically, thank you for your time today. I'm sorry we weren't able to get, do business. But if you change your mind down the road, give me a call back. Here's my contact information. Whatever, okay? You could set up these call statuses with email templates or SMS templates and have those triggered automatically when you mark the status rather than having to send an email and then schedule a call back and do all these other things. You could just do it at the click of a button, okay? So that's a very powerful feature that, a lot of people don't even realize is in there, okay? All right. So we've covered the power dialer. Let's go to another one of my favorite functions of Hot Prospector, and that is the SMS tab. Okay, so inside of the SMS tab, there's a couple of things here that really will seriously just, I think, blow your minds. Okay, up here at the top, you have two different types of campaigns. You have a standard campaign, and then you have a conversation campaign. Okay. Now, a standard campaign is just like any other campaign that you would create, okay? You could name the campaign, select your Twilio number, select your group, and then select how you want your users to be added to your group, okay? So we'll just go ahead and build one here together. So we'll call this test campaign, select my number, select my group. Now, this is really cool because any of the contacts that you add, you'll be able to add to your group, or if you have a group of contacts with phone numbers in them, then you can attach them to this campaign. Okay, so we'll go ahead and select AA test and the subscribe method. Now, the subscribe method, you have a few different functions here, options here. You could have them subscribe by SMS, which means whenever somebody texts in a keyword that you select, they'll be added to your list. You could have them call in to be added. So if somebody calls in, they'll be added to your list. Okay, and it just automatically adds them in. If they're calling from a mobile phone number, it'll just automatically add them. And then the other feature is subscribe by pressing in your phone number. Okay, so you can have it set up to where somebody calls in, then they'll hear a message that says, thank you, please type in your 10-digit mobile phone number to be added to our list, whatever you want that message to say, and then they'll be added in based off of whatever phone number that they press in. Okay. Now, if you notice, we have a couple of cool features here that we've added that allows you to gather additional contact information from your customer out of the text message itself. Do you see here where it says gather additional contact information? If you tick this box, you'll see here it puts in brackets contact name and email. So when your subscriber sends their text message to you, it'll automatically look for an email and a name inside of that contact, and it'll add it to the group. So for example, let's say you're a speaker and you're on stage and you want to give everybody in the group a free report. You could say, please text your name and your email to 412-253-4305, and then as soon as they do that, their name and email will be added to your contact as a contact, and then whatever messages you want them to receive will be sent to them. Okay? Now, it'll work just like any standard SMS system. you can set it up to where they have to have a confirm opt-in to be added to your list. Okay, so we'll type in C for confirm, and then my confirm opt-in message would say, "Thank you for your interest. Please reply C to be added to our list." Standard text rates apply. By the way, guys, we are completely compliant with our system, and I know there are some other systems out here that allow you to do text messaging campaigns, and they're not compliant. So be careful about using those systems. You must have an opt-in now. As of October, I think, of last year, there's you have to have an opt-in, like a double opt-in. Okay, so here's our double opt-in. They type C. When they reply back, they type in C, and then they'll automatically be added to the list. The other thing is you need to let them know that there's going to be charges for that. There could be charges for them receiving that text message from their carrier. Okay, so once they've typed in the confirm, then you'll give them a welcome message. Okay, and the welcome message could be thanks. Welcome to the list, whatever you want to say. Please, if you want to leave, reply S. I guess you could say S. I've started using letters instead of the full word only because it gives you more characters rather than typing out the whole word. And you don't get a lot of characters anyways, so I think it's 160 characters, right? So you want to make sure that you can use as little as possible. So abbreviate these keywords if you can. It'll help you out a lot. So here you'll just put in your unsubscribe keyword, and then here's the message. Oh, I'm sorry you left. Please come back. Whatever. Okay? Reply, start. Right? So now you got your resubscribe keyword, and then you can have a different resubscribe message for people that are resubscribing again. Okay. Now, if you're doing, you can see here's the text-to-speech resubscribe. That is if somebody's calling in to resubscribe, and that's only because you have selected the subscribe by caller ID. Okay. So that's that. It's a very simple process as far as setting that up. Now, we also added contact notifications. So if you want to receive a notification every single time you get a new contact, you can enter in your phone number there, or and we'll send you a text message. Or if you want to receive an email, you can do that. And you can actually select all or both. But that allows you to get a notification every single time one of your users or somebody who's added to your list. Okay, so it's pretty cool. All right, so that is the add new campaign. Pretty simple, pretty cool, right? You got the ability to add all this contact information. It's so cool. Trust me, I've done this on Facebook advertising, and it's blown like some of my standard campaigns out of the water. Doing campaigns on SMS through Facebook. Now let's talk about conversation campaigns. Okay, conversation campaigns, as you can see down here at the bottom, all works the same as what I just showed you. However, here is the nifty little stuff that we added to make this just amazing. So let's say you're a real estate agent. You want to do some lead gen, and you want to get as much possible information about your client as you possibly can. Okay, so what you would do is you'd come in here and you'd set up this conversation campaign, and you can actually add as many different pieces of information that you want to select from your customer as possible. Like, what is your name? What is your phone number? Okay, obviously I'm just saying something simple here, but you would want it to sound like a conversation. How soon are you looking to move? Here we go. How many bedrooms are you looking for? Do you prefer one story or two? As you can see, I'm building like this whole conversation, right? This whole lead, and this is just an example for a real estate agent. You can use this for any type of business that you can think of. But here, let's say this real estate agent would put this phone number here, this 412-253-4305, on their sign in front of a house, and say, to receive additional information about this property, please text your name to blah blah blah. Okay. And then as soon as they text their name, then they entered into the conversation. Boom. So their name will automatically be added to this group, AA Test, as well as their mobile phone number. Okay, so you'll now have their name and their mobile phone number. And then the next question that we'll automatically ask them is, what's your phone number? And then they'll type in their phone number, and that will be added to the group. And then the next question will be, well, how soon are you looking to move? And then that will be added to your group. So on and so forth, and you can ask as many questions as you want. Imagine how many people can use this. Let's think about a few, right? You've got real estate agents, you've got insurance brokers, you've got you as a local marketer. You can use it for recruiters, right? A recruiter could do an application. Scratch that. Any business that's looking for employees can do text applications. Think about that. Rather than having somebody send you an email with their resume, why not have them do their application right via SMS? Okay? You could set up a whole bunch of different types of conversation campaigns. This is some high-level stuff that nobody else is doing. Okay? Oh, by the way, you got to map your data here. So, first name, phone number, how soon you're looking to move. You'll have to have all these fields added before you actually start to take this information, but you get it, okay? It's very, very easy. And then after you've added all of these conversations, the last thing that we do is we ask them to confirm, okay? So what does that mean? Okay, so we've asked all this information. We got as much information as we possibly can from them. We've really just gathered our lead. Now the last thing is, okay, great, we'd like to add you to our list so we can contact you from time to time. Please reply C to be added. And then when they reply C to confirm they're added, then you can give them a welcome message and a coupon and all that other stuff you want. Okay, very, very powerful settings or tools, at your fingertips here with the conversation campaign. I would love to hear some of the things that you guys are using this for. This will seriously be game-changing for you. I guarantee it. You can use it for Facebook ads. You can use it for, for real estate agents, for sign calls. You can use it for businesses that are, doing any type of marketing that you can think of. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on the SMS campaigns? Bill, Mark, can you link SMS campaigns together to get micro commitments? I'm not exactly sure if I understand, Bill, what you're saying. If you could kind of rephrase that a little bit, that would be helpful. Mike, on conversation campaigns, what do they first text in always goes to the first field? In your example, it wouldn't actually ask for the first name. Correct. Mike, whatever they put in on that first field, and I'll actually just open up one here so you can see. Whatever you put here isn't going to be sent to them. You're correct. That's going to be the first question that you ask them. So they won't see that. They'll see, after they text in their name, the first question they're going to see is this next one. In this case, what's your last name? Make sense? Good. Bill S. There are so many options to set up for each campaign, including sub-campaigns, and some aren't needed. Can you create a checklist for setting them up that we could use so things don't get left out? There's so many options to set up for each campaign, including sub-campaigns. Bill, I'm really sorry. I'm trying to understand what you mean, and I really am not. Can you... First, you're talking about campaigns inside of SMS? Because what I just showed you, it actually tells you what you need when you, whatever you select. So it's all needed. If you see it, it will tell you everything you need. So, for example, in this particular case, I selected a conversation campaign, and it's given me all the things that need to be filled out. So everything needs to be filled out here. If I go into Add New Campaign, and I select subscribe by SMS, all the details here that show up need to be filled out. So Lo will ask, so this conversation will be interactive? Yes. You can say whatever you want to this customer. You can say, and I actually, my suggestion to you is that you take, let me go back to the campaign list here. Hold on. My suggestion to you is you take a minute to think about the types of responses that you want to give to somebody who responds or that fills in a form. So, for example, I wouldn't just say, what's your name, or what's your last name. The first question would be, obviously, what's your name? You want to get a small commitment from them, obviously. They've given their first name, and they've given you their mobile phone number because they texted in from that number. So you've got two pieces of information on them automatically. My next question would be, thanks, and then you can add a token in here. So I think it's first name, right? Thanks, first name. So it'll say, thanks, Bill. What's your last name? You see what I'm saying? So now you can really customize things and get them to really, interact with you. And I would really take the time to form those questions to make them want to give you more information. Here's an example for a pizza restaurant, okay? You could set up an SMS conversation for a pizza restaurant. They're sitting at the table and it says, "Hey, tell us your favorite pizza topping. Type in your favorite pizza topping to 512-865-5321." And when they text in their favorite pizza topping, it's pepperoni, let's say. Awesome. Thanks for your response. What zip code are you in? Now this pizza restaurant can start gathering leads from their customers just by starting it out with something simple like, what's your favorite pizza topping? Next question. In SMS conversation campaigns, can an MP3 be played? No, because you're sending a text message, so there's no MP3. Only if they were to call in, and in that case, we don't have something like that set up, Gary. Is Hot Prospector mobile responsive to we can use it on the go? Yeah, it is, but let me give you a quick little demo of that. It's actually something that we're still working on, but yes, it does work. As you see, it's a responsive site, so when I shrink it down, it actually becomes mobile. So yeah, it does. There are some. It is a little bit clunky, I guess, to say on a mobile phone if you're using it, say, inside the power dialer, because it's hard to scroll around, and we're working on changing up that interface. So I haven't really advertised it as mobile responsive yet, just because even though most of the stuff is very easy to use mobile, you won't be able to dial so easy inside the power dialer. So once we get that worked out, then it's going to be even easier. But yeah, it works on a mobile phone, on any Android device and tablet. We're still trying to work out the kinks with with Apple's iOS. For some reason, you can't dial. We're having some issues with the iOS. You can't dial from the power dialer on an iPad, but very soon it will. If you have an Android tablet, it works perfectly. Let's see here. So there is no keyword attached to the SMS campaign. Glenn, not exactly sure what that question is. I'm assuming that you're saying for the conversation campaign, your keyword is this first question, right? So yeah, that would be your keyword. Will the add new conversation campaign work in Australia? Yeah. Matter of fact, Dave, Twilio they're in beta right now with Australia. So you can contact Twilio and get set up to receive SMS numbers inside of Australia. I don't know exactly how that works to get under their beta program. I think it's free. You just need to let them know you're interested. But yeah, it does work in Australia. Joe, on the RE sign writer, what do you specifically put? Text to, yeah, Joe, I would say something like, to get instant information on this property, please text your name to, or whatever you want to be that first question. I would say something like, what's your name on the first question. But yeah, that's what I would put. Can we add team member user just for the SMS feature? Yes, you can. you can select. Okay, so let's go on. We've covered the SMS pretty well. Let's go into the team functions here. Inside of the team functions, you have all of these permissions. So you can set it up here inside of Pages to where they only have access to one thing and one thing only, and that's SMS. So you could charge a customer $100 a month just to have access to the SMS, right? So yeah, you can do that. You can also just give them access to the power dialer or the mass mailer or the reports or not the reports. That wouldn't make sense. But you can give them access to whatever you want inside of the system just by selecting what pages that they're going to see. Okay. You also have the ability to come in and select what groups they have access to. You also have the ability to select what campaigns in the power dialer they have access to, or the inbound, or the voice broadcasts, or the SMS. You could set specific campaigns that they would have access to. Okay. Now, they'll only have access to any campaigns that they create. So if you add them into the SMS and you only give them access to SMS, then whenever they create a campaign, they're going to see it, only them, because it's going to be assigned to them. Now, we have some additional functions coming soon where you're going to actually have the ability to add how many credits you want a user to have access to. So if you want to say, because they're using your Twilio account, right? So if you want to say Russell only gets 500 credits per month, then once they hit 500, they need to contact you and buy more credits. That's coming soon. We're going to be doing that. It's actually in the works right now. But when we add that, you'll be able to assign a certain amount of credits. So for any calling, inbound, outbound, or text messaging will be able to be, their credits will tick away as they're getting calls or making calls or sending texts or receiving texts. Lyle, can this be used with short code from another vendor? No, it can't. But, we have some things that we're working on where we're going to try to set up a group. Basically what I need to do in order to be able to offer short code is to get everybody on one account, right? Which some people don't want to use my account for whatever reason. That's fine. But we're going to be adding this capability here soon where everybody will be able to jump on our account. If you do jump on our account, then eventually we're going to be able to offer short codes. But it doesn't make sense for us to do it right now because we don't have any users on our account. Everybody has their own accounts. Bill, can SMS campaigns be conditional and split for left-handed people versus right-handed? Funny, Bill. You are being funny today. Great. Let's see. Mike, can the campaigns be duplicated or cloned? Yes, they can. That was actually in there. Let's see here. Mark, you did a great job handling the questions. Your tone never makes anyone sound stupid or wrong. Thank you. Hey, no problem. Elaine, checklist sounds great. I think he's asking about a list of suggested questions. Maybe, but any questions that you have inside your contacts, you got to think about it ahead of time, right? So when you're creating your contacts, you want to come in here, you create your group, right? And then after you've created your group, you want to come in here and select your fields. Any fields that you want to ask, like, for example, the pizza topping, you want to add in here as a field. So you'll click pizza topping, right? And then once those are added, then when I go in to the SMS campaign, you'll see here if I select, let's see if there's a test one here. Here's one. We'll select that group, which was, oh my gosh, I forgot which one it was. I think it's this one. Actually, let's do add new conversation campaign so I don't click. Yeah, there you go. So see now that I've added that here, so you can see now pizza topping is a field inside of that group. So I could type in, what is your favorite pizza topping? There. So now, whenever somebody types in pepperoni, sausage, mushroom, whatever, it's going to be added into that contact group. Okay? Can I go over the inbound? Yes, let's go into the inbound. It's a good time for us to go into the inbound. All right, so here I am on the inbound. And the inbound area gives you the ability to set up your own IVR, your own, basically like a PBX. You can also do lead tracking and a whole bunch of other stuff right here. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is select the campaign title. Okay, so we'll just name it Test Inbound 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, after you've selected your campaign title, select your group that you want to be attached. Now, the reason why we do this is because when you're making outbound calls or whatever you're doing, very soon we're going to have that piece that I was showing you earlier on in the webinar where your inbound calls will pop up. You'll be able to see all the contact information you have about a customer. So if you select that contact group, then whenever they call in, any of that information inside that group will automatically be pulled up and shown on the screen. Okay, so it's a really good idea to do that, especially if you're doing inbound leads for your customers or if you're doing anything crazy like that. It's good to have all that information. So go ahead and select the group and then select your phone number that you want to use, and then click Add Campaign and Call Flow. So now the next thing that's going to pop up is the ability for you to customize your call flow. And customizing a call flow is very easy. You just grab whatever you want to do, drag it over, and drop it, and then it will give you the option to add them in. So the first thing is a greeting. So a greeting is a good idea to add for now I was wondering why that did that. I guess it's because we're zoomed in there. So anyways, the first thing you're going to want to do is add a greeting. So if you're doing lead gen for a customer, you may want to have a greeting that says, "Thank you. Your call is being transferred." It'd be good if I could spell transferred. Your call is being transferred. All calls are recorded for quality and training. There. So once you've added that, just click Save, and now you have a greeting added. So once you've added your greeting, what do you want it to do next? Well, maybe you want it to just transfer directly to your customer's mobile phone number or their business number. So you just drag over the dial, and then you can type in whatever that number is. And you always have to check international number because we're using Twilio and that sort of thing. But anyway, select your phone number, type in a timeout, which we usually do 10 seconds, and click Save. And now they're going to hear this message, and then it's going to be transferred automatically to that phone number. So you can, at that, you're done, right? You could say, I'm done. Or what I suggest is you also add a voicemail. So if it times out, they don't answer, right, after 10 seconds, or you could do 30 seconds. Then after 30 seconds, then they would get a voicemail, okay? So the voicemail, you can either add a text-to-speech, or you can add an MP3 message that just says, sorry, please leave a message. Please leave a message, okay? Click Save, and that's it. You're done. So that's your call flow. So in this call flow, we have a greeting, a transfer, and if they don't answer, a voicemail. Now, if you get lost and you start adding some of these other features, which I'll show you here, let's go ahead and remove the voicemail. Let's remove the dial, and let's remove the greeting, and let's look at the menu option. So when they call in, we give them a menu option. Here you can add as many menu options as you want. You can give them 10 menu options, which sounds like my bank whenever you call in. If you want this, press 1. If you want that, press 2. If you want, tell me your blood type, press 3. But you can add in whatever features you want, and then you can actually say, okay, if somebody presses 1, do this. Okay, so for example, thank you. Thank you for calling. For sales, press 1. For support, press 2. To get an instant quote, press 3 now. Now check this out. I only wanted to say this because I wanted you guys to see this. This is really cool. Okay, so I'm going to make my 3 options here. My first one is press 1, and that's going to go to sales. So we'll just say we're going to dial some individual. Okay, then we're going to add 2 for support, and for support we're going to do a multiple dial, which is going to dial multiple numbers at once. And then the last one is to get an instant quote. Check this out. If they're calling from a mobile phone number, you can have an instant SMS sent. So they press 3, they're going to be automatically receiving this text message. Okay? So now I've got all of these different options. Oh no, I'm lost, right? I've got all these different things. No problem. Click on Show Flow, and then see it gives you what goes where. So this blue goes all the way here, this green goes there, and that lighter green goes there. Okay? So for this SMS message, we're going to say, thank you for your interest. Please text the word quote to blah, blah, whatever your text phone number is to start your quote process. Does everybody understand what I'm doing here? I hope so, because I just added them to an SMS conversation campaign now, right? So thank you for your interest. Please text the word quote to this number. So now they can go into an SMS conversation campaign where the person can start gathering all sorts of information about that customer via a text message. Boom, right? Now you've just saved yourself a ton of time. And with that, there goes our question box blowing up with wows. So pretty cool, okay? Multiple. Here's your multiple, so just go ahead and select the group. Now you can actually have as many call groups as you want, and call groups are basically, which I'll cover here in a second, allows you to add what users you want to be dialed or have their browser ring whenever a call comes through. So if you want to set up a support team, you can have a support team, and anybody who's on that support team will ring whenever somebody presses that extension. You can set it up to where the calls are coming in simultaneously, individually but sequentially, or individually but randomly. Okay, those are your 3 options. The last is your dial a number, and we already talked about that. Just type in whatever number you want to ring. Select international number, select your timeout, and then click save. And then we probably should do a voicemail just in case. Leave a message. Click save, and that's it. You're done. See that? We just set up a really cool call flow with a menu that gives us 3 options to either transfer someone to sales, support, or to get an instant quote without talking to anybody and go to an SMS conversation campaign. I just lost my breath there for a second because it's just cool, right? It's just too cool. All right, so let's go ahead and close that. Now you can see here's my campaigns. And inside the campaigns, I can actually look at, okay, so here's my customized call flow if I ever want to go back in and customize that call flow again for that campaign. But here you have the ability to look at your call logs. You can see any calls that's come through on that. You can, let me hit the back button here. You can also look at any voicemails that were received, and those voicemails are added right here, so you can just click on this button here and push play and listen to the voicemails right here from within this area. Okay, so very, very cool, very easy to use. You saw it's just 2 steps. Step 1, name your campaign, add your group. Step 2, select your call flow. Okay, now if you're going to add a call group, it's very important that first you click on add call group. And here's what I was talking about. Here I can actually select what users I want to be in this group. So we'll say support group. And we want Russell, we want Yari, and we want Diana to be in the support group. Click add group, bingo. Now you've got your support group. So anytime someone goes to support, they're going to get called, those 3 people will get called, not anybody else. Now, hopefully that answers everybody's. Oh, by the way, once you've added a group, let me show you one more cool thing. Once you've added a group, let's say you have some other support people that you don't want to have access to the system, or maybe you have a sales group and you don't want them to have access to the system. You just want calls to be transferred to them. Well, you can come in here into the support group, click on add members, and you could just add a person and their phone number to that group. So they don't even have to have an account to be transferred in that group. So you can add, somebody's cell phone number into this support group as well, and they're what we call a non-member. So they're not a member of your Hot Prospector account, but they're still going to be dialed on those calls. Okay? So that is that. Hopefully everybody understands all the things I went through. So if there's some questions, I'd gladly answer those for you. I'm sure there's a lot here coming through. So let me just scroll down the list here. Sweet. Wow, the chat is on fire. So team members is your own staff or VAs, Dave asked. Dave, that's a good question. Your team members can be whatever you want. It could be, if you don't want to sell Hot Prospector to your customers, that's fine. Just set it up and set it up for your own team, which is fine. I mean, if you have 3 or 4 or 5 people on your team and you want them to be your team members, then you could do that. If you want to do both, then buy more credits and you can do that. Will white label users be using my Twilio account? Yes, Bill, they are using your Twilio account. And in the future, like I said, we're going to have it set up to where you can add credits. That's coming around the bend very quickly. We're actually just finishing up some bugs, squashing some bugs in the mass emailer and a few other areas, and then that's going to be next on the list. Can we add email tracking to track emails to see who's opened? Yes, Jerome, it's already in there. If you go into the dashboard, any emails that you send from your Power Dialer or your mass email, I believe, if not, we'll be adding that in there. But any emails you send from the Power Dialer will actually be showing up here in your sent. So you can see we sent out 27 emails, and 9 of them were viewed today. So you can see those right here. And then you can actually click on the ones that were viewed and see who they were that opened up those emails. So you can see their email, and you can see the subject line of what you sent. How do leads gathered at websites, contact us page, get loaded and responded to? If you have most contact us pages or whatever that you have, or any systems like that, they should have the option to export your leads as a CSV file. So you might just export them as a CSV and then import them into your contacts. We are going to be adding in some because we do have a web API or an API. So if you're familiar with how to use APIs, you can use our API to add your contacts in through the system. So we will accept them into your group through the web service API. If you have a favorite contact provider and they'll map that, then you can give them our API and have them set that up as well. So it's up to you on how you want to do that. But we will accept a push from some other provider, provided that they map into our API. Is the team member the same as a seat? Yeah, team, seat, whatever. We call it a seat because each one of these seats is individual, right? It's a license. It's an individual license. Michael, previous purchasers of Hot Prospector get the upgrades, I assume. Yeah, I mean, all these upgrades should be in your account if you've already purchased Hot Prospector, but you have to remember, Hot Prospector has only there's only been one way that I've sold Hot Prospector. It's $197 per year for all of your license or for all of these features. Okay. Now, if you don't have all of these features, then it's pretty likely that you didn't buy the annual license. If you did buy the annual license and you don't see them, then just contact us in support, and we'll do what we can to add those. Not do what we can. We'll add them in there, but just make sure you send us your receipt so we can quickly identify and add all of those tabs. Now, if you've purchased something else, like, for example, we had one opportunity to get Hot Prospector Lite with a system that we released a while back called Prospecting Profit Pilot. Hot Prospector Lite just came with the Power Dialer. Okay, it doesn't give you the ability to do mass mailing and all that other stuff. It just gives you the Power Dialer and it gives you the Appointment Manager. That particular system was as an annual, or was an unlimited account where you just get the Power Dialer for life. but it didn't give you the SMS, the mass emailer, the lead, all the other stuff that you see here today that I covered. If you have that, you can buy a Hot Prospector account for $197 a year. I'll drop in. Some people don't have Hot Prospector. You want it? Just go to this link. There you go. So you can get Hot Prospector at mark-helton.com/get-hot-prospector. And that'll give you a full account like you see here. Okay? Mark, can we set up conditional SMS campaigns if we use the conversation SMS and they end up opting in? Can they be sent to a master list of realtors in Florida, for example? You can set up a campaign where basically they get notified when a contact finishes out when they actually opt in. So you can set it up to where your contact is notified here inside the SMS. If you look in here. Okay, so when you look inside a campaign, where is that at? Here we go, contact notifications. So you can add in those contact notifications that are going to be sent to your subscriber that way. So I'm not exactly sure if that answers your question, but you could do it that way, where a customer would receive the message that they have a new campaign. Best way to do this is you help them set up the campaign, give them access to SMS and the power dialer. Now, this system is a beast for a real estate agent. So if you're working with real estate agents, selling them access to this whole seat, they don't have access to anything like that out there. There is nothing out there on the market that does all the stuff that we do for real estate agents. So they'll love this system. Sell it to them for $150 a month, and they'll love you for it. Giving them access to all of this for $150 a month, it's a no-brainer. Is there any way to use Hot Prospector with your own SIP trunks rather than Twilio? Lee, that's not a possibility at this point. However, we are down the road going to be adding in. We're working on setting up with Asterisk, which means that we're going to be able to do a lot better on the rates in phone calls, that sort of thing, and actually changing the billing from full minute billing down to an incremental, like 6-second or 12-second billing, which will be coming soon, like probably close. Not soon, sorry. It'll be coming after summer. We have to finish up the things that we're doing, but it's definitely on the radar to be done this year. I would say probably sometime around September it'll be done, and when that's done, it'll make things a lot more cost effective. But you'll be using our accounts, not your own individual accounts. Let's see. How much is it to subscribe to Hot Prospector, Evan? It's $197 a year if you buy it through the link that I just sent you to. If you go to hotprospector.com, then you're going to pay a little bit more, which actually it's like $200 and something a month to get it at hotprospector.com. So it doesn't really make sense for you to go there and buy it. Since you're a customer of mine, I'm giving you like the special deal. Okay. Lead Finder Jack gives a lot of different telephones and emails. How do we know whom we can export from? Christos, you can export CSV, I'm assuming, from any type of lead finding software. So you can export as a CSV and then import it here into your contacts. Can direct mail be easily integrated with Hot Prospector? Oh, I've got an appointment in 10 minutes, so I'm going to wrap this up. Let me go back over to... Okay. 2 more questions, and I'm going to wrap this up because I have an appointment in 10 minutes and I can't be late. Can direct mail be easily integrated with Hot Prospector? If so, how? Not really. We don't have it set up to be integrated. You mean like sending out direct mail, Bill? No, we don't have it set up to send out direct mail. It's not really set up for that. So at this point, no, but not saying that we won't come up with something in the future. Will you add auto billing for call tracking? This would be awesome. We wouldn't have to use a call tracking software which I won't say the name. Mark, the answer to that question is yes, in kind of. Okay, the answer is we're going to be adding the credit system, so you will effectively be able to bill your customers either ahead of time or after based off of whatever credits that you assign them. So, for example, let's say you're going to use the inbound calling feature. You want to say, I'm going to sell you 50 leads for, $10 a lead. That's, what is that, $500? 10 times 500 is $5,000. I am not a very good mathematician, obviously, but $5,000, right? So you charge them $10 a lead for 500 leads. That's $5,000, and then basically you assign those credits, and then once you can either charge them up front or you can charge them at the end. So is it automatically going to come out of their bank? No, it's not, unless you set it up to go automatically out of their bank with, say, PayPal or something like that. So effectively, it will be the same exact thing as auto billing. The difference is that you're going to assign credits instead of, whatever way you're doing it now. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Hopefully I didn't just confuse you. Please show us how you use this for call tracking. Well, I just showed you. You can. What I didn't cover is the reports. Here inside of the reports, a user can come in and select their reports or their voicemails, their call log, whatever, for their account. So here you can see these are all the inbound calls for this Mr. Plumber Google ad. And we can listen to the recordings here, we can see the call logs, and we can even export these reports to our customers. So that is exactly how we would use this for call tracking, right, for your customer. Call tracking, they only want a report. Now your user can log in. If you give them access to the login, they'll be able to see just their reports. So they'll see their campaign, and they won't see these other campaigns. They'll be able to pull up a report specifically for them. Like I said, and in the future when we add the credits, you'll be able to do your, quote, auto billing that way. Okay? Can you create a text back SMS message? I don't know what that means. Bobby, are you going to add the ability to record calls for inbound for lead gens? And can you select male or female for text-to-speech? We don't have the selecting for we don't have a text-to-speech library, but I honestly, because I didn't know there was one available, so we're going to look into adding the text-to-speech library so you can select your own text-to-speech. But as far as the recordings, that's already here. You can see those here. If I want to listen to this recording, I can click on the play button. If I want to download the recording to maybe send it to my customer or whatever, I can do that here. Can we add Whisper? We are going to be adding Whisper, Sam. It's on the horizon for sure. One more question here. I know I said two more, but and I've already done like three, but one more. Let's see here. Yeah, Mark, the question is, can we have Hot Prospector email us when an email has been opened like LeadAware? Yes, actually, that's inside your profile. If you go in here and you select on email read notification, you can actually select email, SMS, or both. And then whenever an email is opened, you'll get a notification on this email here. So yeah, that does work. You know what? I still have time for one more question. Let's see here. Mike, I think I was clear on this. Please clarify whether the team members need a dedicated Twilio account or they share your account. They would share your account. That's the part. And again, you're the main team manager. You're the main person. They're using your accounts. As far as, like I said, setting up credits and that sort of thing, once we do that, you'll be able to say, okay, team member Russell is only going to get 1,000 credits per month. And once he hits 1,000 credits, then he needs to buy more credits to be able to add to be able to make calls. Mark says, I'm worried with so many great features I'll be overwhelmed. Is there a concise written user's guide? No, Mark, the guide is being written right now by Becky. When she's finished with it, then we're going to add it in here. But there is videos in the training area. And yeah, there is a lot of stuff. I'm planning on doing more of these webinars to cover some of these features in a little bit more detail. I mean, we did like a walkthrough of a lot of them in 2 hours. We covered a lot, but there'll be more. And I'll also make this webinar recording available too for everybody to be able to come back and listen to. But the best way to handle it is to take one piece at a time, bite off one thing at a time. The way I explained it from the beginning is set up your profile, right? Add your Twilio, add your SMTP settings, go into the contacts and add your contacts, and then after you've added your contacts, then go into the Power Dialer and add a Power Dialer campaign, and you're good to go. So that's the best way to get started. You'll be able to send mass emails from the Power Dialer and make phone calls from the dialer. You don't even have to touch the mass emailer, which we didn't even really cover the mass emailer today. The SMS or the voice broadcast, you don't have to set up touch all those things. So that's actually something too. I didn't even get to go over the voice broadcaster, the mass emailer, or the appointment scheduler. So we'll do that in another webinar. Let's see. Mark Jennings, I've been trying to use Hot Prospector in the UK, but barely find any emails. Again, you're confusing Hot Prospector and Hot Lead Finder. Hot Lead Finder, which is what you see here, is a lead finding tool. And, I've heard some people in the UK saying that they've had those issues. Unfortunately, we're only able to get what we're able to get. So Manta doesn't really provide much data in the UK. Yellow Pages doesn't do emails at all in the UK. Facebook works in the UK, right? So, unfortunately, you're limited in the UK on Hot Lead Finder. But again, that is completely separate from Hot Prospector. It's not the same software at all. Can we send messages through the Contact Us? Yes. If you're inside the contacts, I think, Bill, what you're talking about, Doug, can you send an email through here? Yes. You can come in here, select an email in the contact, and send a message through here. Okay? Just like you could if you were inside the Power Dialer. So that saves you a lot of time. Maybe you just want to log into your contacts real quick and sort or search all your contacts for, let's find a specific email, junk your car, right? So you select email on your search and then click search, and then it'll pull up that email, right? So you found that contact, you just want to send them a quick email, grab a template, click the button, and hit send. So yeah, you could do that. Okay, guys, that is it. That is all the questions I have that I can actually address. I've got to make this other webinar, meeting. The link is inside the system to be able to purchase Hot Prospector if you don't have it. I'm planning on doing another webinar here either next week or in another week, so you guys will get more details on how to use some of these other features that we didn't cover, the mass emailer, the voice broadcaster and stuff. So other than that, thanks so much for coming out, everyone, and get Hot Prospector if you don't have it yet and start prospecting on autopilot. Talk to you soon. Bye.